Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. Now, before we start, I want to thank my patrons. It's something that I've neglected to do here before. I've thanked them in like a general sense, but it's time to give shout outs to names. It's something I should have done for a very long time, but we're gonna start doing that here, probably in the Raw review, which is like my most watched videos. So I think that I'm gonna probably start off the videos for now on doing that for every single Raw review. So let's let's try to make it a custom here. For now on, we're going to give shout outs to all my patrons. So Shanberries, Dolph Ziggler Thailand, who made a very generous donation. Thank you very much for that. November, Patrick Maves, and Paulie A. Fantone. So, guys, thank you so much for these donations. They're great. As you can see, I actually use it for something. The new camera, the the microphone. I've been trying, very hard to try to improve this channel the best I can to the best of my ability. So, guys, whatever you could give, even if it's like $1 a day, for Patreon, I appreciate it. All the donations mean a lot. I mean, it takes a lot to do that. That's your hard-earned money, and if you enjoy the entertainment so much and you want to see like improvements and stuff, I mean, it goes towards like game reviews. Like, if you like the game reviews, little donation, I could, get more games. I got a capture card with this, the extra money that I had earned. So, it's a no pressure thing. You don't need to give if you can't, but to everybody who has, I greatly appreciate it. And with that, I see some people also appreciating the Brad's Bistro. I've got another one of that already recorded, all ready to go. Just got to post it up. And I've got another game review already edited up and ready to go. And I'll probably put that one out tonight after I post up this Raw review. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to the Raw review, motherfuckers. So we started off with Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman all together in the ring. Braun, I don't care what you people think. I'm not a big fan of this. I don't understand, why they're putting these guys as a trio. And Braun Strowman saying that line that he doesn't think he could take on the Shield. If there's any guy that would be able to take on the Shield by himself, it should be Braun Strowman. Hearing him say, "I would never be able to take the title off of Roman Reigns by myself," I mean, that made him look kind of bad. Think about this for a moment. Didn't Sting, like, at one time, didn't he take the title off of Hulk Hogan when he was in the NWO? I mean, you've had many people, like, stand against a faction and be able to take the title off of people. Remember Goldberg against Triple H in Evolution? So if these people in the past could stand up to a faction, the Shield, which is not even the greatest faction of all time. You've had people taking the belt off of Ric Flair when he had the Four Horsemen watching his back. So there's no excuse for this. Teaming Strowman up with people, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. First of all, these are two wrestlers that shouldn't even be associated with each other. They should be big stars on their own. They have enough charisma. They've got enough of a look. They've got enough going for them where they don't need to be partnered up and everything, be in tag teams, be in factions. So the Shield comes out. Corbin sends out the entire locker room for whatever reason. I don't understand if the whole feud is supposed to be centered around these guys. Why is the whole locker room emptying out? Like, is the Shield supposed to be that dangerous? Three guys that you need an entire locker room to be emptied out. Now, this made sense when, say, you had the Alliance, when it was the Invasion storyline, and you would have all these wrestlers pouring into the ring. I'm not really too sure why they had Corbin calling everybody out, all out of the locker room, just to attack three guys. And they did this before, you know. Okay, so Triple H had attacked. You know, Triple H had set up like an 11-on-3 match like a couple of years ago during the Shield's first run. And like, okay, this made sense. The Shield was being punished, but it's like, why do they always make it like the Shield has to be 1,000 against 3 guys? Like, are they that much of a threat? Really, like Seth Rollins, this guy right here, this guy is a giant threat. I mean, come on already with that shit. That is just, you know, a little bit too fabricated. That is a bit too far-fetched for me to believe. And I know that certain people are going to say, oh, well, didn't you like when Rousey was beating up those 6-foot guys? And I said, yeah, I didn't really think about it at the time, but that wasn't that logical. But, you know, that's a few guys. This is the entire locker room. You're telling me that all of these guys, they all have to be 20-on-3 to be able to just barely get the Shield in the back of a van so they could be arrested? So, you know, they get arrested backstage, and, you know, here we go again, getting the Shield off the rest. You know, this was like when Brock Lesnar was there, and they arrested Roman Reigns, and he was gone for the entire show. Why are you just completely writing off these wrestlers for the whole show? I mean, I'm not really getting this exactly. What, like, why do you want to take your main stars off the show for the rest of the show so they can't come back? You know, these are your draws. It's the Shield, so you arrest them for the 1,000th time, or I don't know if they've been arrested before. But Roman Reigns was arrested just a few weeks ago. Now he's getting arrested again. This would have been like if Stone Cold was getting arrested every week. They did it like one time, and then they moved on to different things. Here we're having like several times where you know, Roman Reigns is getting arrested, once by himself, then as a group. This is why the Shield thing is just a bad idea. I mean, they're just bringing them back because they can't figure out what else to do with the other guys. I mean, the idea was right there. The entire internet was, you know, I know you don't, I always say don't listen to the internet, don't listen to the smarks. But no, turning Dean Ambrose heel would have been a great idea. The guy looks like a heel, that he's got the integrity of a heel. You know, he was all set to go. The stage was set at SummerSlam. You know, he returned. You know, you had Seth Rollins there in the ring. He could have screwed him, and we could have had a feud there. But, you know, they go with the most mundane, predictable thing. And, you know, it's like they already had a Shield reunion. Now we're having another one. Okay, so maybe it was cut a little bit short because of Dean Ambrose getting injured. But going right back to it again, when so much time has passed, it's just, how many Shield reunions are we going to have? I mean, is this going to keep on going every few months? You know, they're going to do their own little thing and then come back. And you know, it's enough already. You know, you've had Seth Rollins. You already decided to make him the Universal Champion a few years ago. Now it's like, oh, now he's just an IC title guy, right? And now, you know, you want to make him the big time baby face, and then when that's not really working for you, when you don't know where to go with that, you're just gonna put him back in the faction in which he started. Does anybody know like how this looks? Like, why does Roman, a guy like who looks like Roman Reigns, why does he need to have guys watching his back? You know, and you've already shown that he doesn't need them. I mean, I see what it is. It's like they don't know what to do with any of these guys. The most success that they've had with any of them, you know, the biggest success was when they were the Shield. So this is why they keep going back to it, because when they fuck up and they don't know where to go, they just go back to square one. And it's getting a bit tiresome already because they keep on fucking doing it. So she'll get arrested. The Bellas defeated the Riot Squad. So after the entire internet whine, I don't want to see Bellas. I don't want to see them, I actually got a pretty good reaction. And I don't understand this. It's like you don't want to see hot women. You don't want to see these two attractive girls. You know, and to me, guys, they put in a pretty crisp, to use one of Wade Keller's words, crisp. The moves for crisp, guys. They were crisp. They were so crisp. Oh my, oh the moves were crisp. But they looked good in the ring to me, not just physically like hey, like they also just looked good in the ring, like performing their moves, performing all the actions in the ring. They looked like they didn't miss a beat. Um, this was actually a pretty decent match now that I think of it. I mean, it looked good. Everybody played their part pretty well. And Nikki hit the TKO. They got the win. Um, Pretty good here. Then they had a little backstage segment which I really wasn't a big fan of, and we'll get to that later on. So pretty good performance after the internet whined and said we don't want the Bellas. Everyone was cheering them. I guess it was probably because we were in Columbus, Ohio, so it wasn't like we were in Canada or Brooklyn where we would have got the more smarky crowd. It was back to the Midwest, so it's kind of understandable why there was a bit more positive reaction. Things kind of went back to normal. Um, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable defeated the Ascension. So this is what we're doing with Bobby Roode right now. I'm not knocking Chad Gable as a talent, but all I'm saying, Chad Gable looked good in the ring. The guy's, he's got a good physique for his size, and he's does these great moves, great German suplex and all that, and very Kurt Angle-ish, I guess you could say. And I've said this for a few years already about him since I first saw him in TNA, but Bobby Roode is one of these God-given talents. Like, he's just great, and he looks like a star, and he looks like he deserves to be in the World Championship picture. So, since he's been on the main roster, since they brought him up from NXT, they have just fucked this guy in every way possible. And it's not due to him getting a poor reaction. He gets a great reaction when he comes out. Every time he does the glorious thing, everybody follows along. This is creative, not knowing what the fuck to do with them. We see Bobby Roode out there every single week in some weird scenario. He's either losing or he went from this feud with, Mojo Rawley. Where is even Mojo now? I don't even see him. He had a feud with Elias that went absolutely nowhere. He was dancing in conga lines with No Way Jose. By the way, where has he been? All these guys, they just fucking disappear for weeks. All of a sudden, oh, this guy's gonna be the next big thing, and before you know it, they're gone. So I don't even see No Way Jose out there anymore. I'm a bit lost as to why they start these programs, and you think that maybe they do their research and see if people are committed, talk to these guys and see where they're going to take the program, because to me the program, it starts out but there's no substance or anything with it. Like, why was there a feud with Elias? Why did he have a problem with Mojo Rawley? These questions are not even answered. They don't even bother to cut a promo to explain why these guys hate each other, But I guess that's besides the point. So now it's take number 72, and I guess we're gonna have now a Bobby Roode's a tag team wrestler. Okay, he's been a tag team wrestler before with James Storm in Beer Money, right? So that was one of the most over times for Bobby Roode in TNA. But guess what? This isn't James Storm. This is Chad Gable. Like I said, not to knock the guy. I actually like him. But, this is not Beer Money. This is not going to be a super over tag team. I mean, like, when they put these guys together, do they really think the crowd is going to get behind these guys as a unit? Do they really think that this is going to be, like, the next big tag team? I don't think so. I really doubt that. To say the fucking least, I really don't see this tag team having a big future. They're going to do it for a few weeks. They're probably going to, like, lose next week or something to maybe to Drew McIntyre and Ziggler, and then they're just going to forget about the tag team. Elias came out to do a performance. Alexa Bliss came out. She did a little bit of a fake out. Trish Stratus did the thing last week with Elias where he insulted the town. So, Bliss is from Ohio. So she came out, she did the OHIO thing, and then she, called them a bunch of zombies. Then she started flirting with Elias, telling him to play his song. She says, "I want to walk with Elias." And, this is intriguing, but you damn well know. You damn well know they're not going to follow up on it next week. Now, you would say, hey, now this seems like this could be pretty interesting. Elias and Alexa's a unit. But, that's going to be a one-off thing. They're not going to go back to it. I guarantee it. So, then we have the match. We've got Alexa Bliss defeating Natalya with the armbar as Ronda Rousey watches on. And Rousey's just ringside for the past 2 weeks. She's not doing much. After the match, Bliss kicks her ass, which I'm just like totally thrown. Like, how did she get how did she overtake Rousey? I'm sorry. This is the thing. Is like, these are the problems you're going to have to overcome as a creative team. Get creative. I've said this, Rousey is obviously going to be much stronger. But this is what I'm saying. It was PlayStation 85 guy, PlayStation guy 85 who said this in my video. He said I was being ridiculous by putting that segment over. And, whether or not it was a good or believable segment, you had Ronda Rousey flipping over 6-foot guys. And now she's getting her ass kicked by Alexa Bliss, who's a 5-foot girl who, she weighs maybe 120 pounds at best, maybe. I don't know. I want to say she's maybe around there, maybe even less than that. And I'm just kind of just flabbergasted at this. I'm like, okay, I'm finding a hard time getting around. And where was Trish Stratus? This whole big thing. Are you telling me that they couldn't book Trish Stratus maybe for to come on the show for a little bit? I mean, are they being super fucking cheap? I mean, you just started a program with Alexa Bliss and Trish Stratus. Please do not tell me that we're not going to have Trish Stratus on TV until the network special. Because I think that's how it's going to be. It's like, oh yeah, we showed her, there's the feud. You want to tell us that this Evolution pay-per-view is going to be big, huge, massive. It's historic, right? Hey, guys. Guys, I got a secret. It's historic. It's historic. It's historic. Remember that, guys. It's fucking historic. And if you don't think it's historic, if you don't say it's historic, then, well, fuck you. It's still historic. It's historic. So, remember that. So, for something that's so-called historic, why are we not building this better? What are the other matches on the pay-per-view? What is it, in 2 weeks? It's before Hell in a Cell. So, if Hell in a Cell is like the 15th it's the 16th, right? So, it's the week before. So, what is that? That's the, that's the 7th, right? No, it's the 9th? I don't know. I'm bad at math. Fuck me. I'm an embarrassment. But, you got... What is this? Is it on Sunday? When is the Evolution pay-per-view? Is it even on this Sunday? Is it this Sunday? I don't know. But first she said in her promo that she was going to take care of Trish Stratus and then move on to Ronda Rousey. So, or did she get that backwards? Because wait a minute. Isn't the pay-per-view in October? I don't know. I'm fucking lost. I don't know when these pay-per-views are. I think actually the match with Trish is not for another month. But she said that Trish was first. I don't know. The more I talk about this, the more I'm losing IQ points here. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler took Baron Corbin's advice. He told them backstage after they asked for a tag title match. They said, he told them, if something happens to the Ascension, not the Ascension, the Revival. There we go. These names sound pretty, the Ascension, the Revival, they sound similar. Anyway, it said if anything would happen to them, then they would get this spot. So they beat them up backstage, and they're just suddenly moved into the match, and they take the tag titles off the B team. So that does it for the B team. So after like a month, 2 months, they beat the super over, super charismatic team of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. They forego all the build up and everything, and just put the titles on the B team right away, and they're a joke tag team. They take the belts off a serious threat like Matt and Bray Wyatt, and they just put it on a comedy team. Great idea there, just to take them off of them and put them on Drew and Ziggler. So I'm failing to realize what's going on here. Ziggler is a singles wrestler. He's winning the IC belt. Drew McIntyre was like in the #1 contenders match. Now they're just fine being a tag team. So this was their original goal. Didn't they say that they're here to take over? First it was they were going to take over the WWE. Now that was too tall of a task, so they said they were going to take over the tag division. Then Ziggler suddenly wins the IC belt, and now he's just content with taking over the mid-card, I suppose. Now they team up with Braun Strowman, and they're winning the tag titles. So I don't know. Maybe Braun is going to take the title off of Roman at Hell in a Cell, and they're all going to have titles. Maybe that's the plan here. Maybe that's where they're going with this. I don't know. I'm totally lost. When a wrestler says they have a goal on the show, they barely follow through what they say they're going to do. When you hear someone cut a promo, it's like, take it with a grain of salt. They ain't going to even do what they say they're going to do on the show. The promo should reflect the booking. It's like, it should be as they book the show, then they should have them cut the promos and act accordingly. Here it seems like they cut the promos, and then they book the show. And then they write in. They're like, oh, well, you know what? You said this, but we're going to do something else. I don't know. I'm not sure why they're doing any of this, but there you go. There's your new tag champs. The Authors of Pain defeated some jobbers, and now Drake Maverick, who's Rockstar spud from TNA. He's been on 205 Live for months, if you didn't already know this. And, now he's the manager. So apparently he's going to be a babyface GM, but at the same time, he's going to manage a heel tag team. I guess it's an okay idea, but don't you think that maybe Paul Ellering, the legendary Paul Ellering, would have been a better choice for the Authors of Pain on the main roster? But no, instead kick him to the curb and instead get Drake Maverick, of all people. Which is just random as fuck, because now you're going to have him pulling double duty for 205 Live. And then you're going to have him being a manager for these guys. Again, it's like the AOP. You don't know what to do with these guys. You have Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler being your tag champs, but the AOP are not. If anyone should be the tag champs, it should be these guys. I mean, does it look like anybody would be able to stop them? So, in the sake of realism, telling a story here, it should be the AOP would take these tag titles, from two goofballs like the B team should be no problem. So I'm not really fully understanding this, why they're doing what they're doing with the AOP. And now they're going to do something else. First, it was going to be putting them in a feud with Titus Worldwide. That went absolutely nowhere. They even, jobbed to them a few times. Now they're going to throw Drake Maverick in there for no reason whatsoever. They need a manager. All of a sudden, they want to start doing managers. For years and years, they're totally against managers and everything. I don't know if it's Vince McMahon doesn't like managers. Now all of a sudden, there's a male manager, just like that. The Bellas were backstage, and boy, oh boy, was this a cringeworthy segment. Again, didn't they do this once before when it was Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax? Remember, they were fighting over who they wanted, to take care of Natalia when she got injured. And then she was like, "Leave me alone. I need to be by myself." And now Natalia again did the same thing. The Bellas are asking how is she doing. She's like, "I need to be alone." What is wrong with Natalia? She cries when she gets beat. She wears these cat ears. What the fuck are they doing with this girl? This is Jim Neihard just passed away, and they're already jobbing out Natalia. Not only that, but they're fucking just making her look like a damn goofball here. I need to be by myself, making her super emotional. And you've got the Bellas like just going super Valley Girl, super girls waiting online at Starbucks on Ronda Rousey, and Ronda Rousey like a little girl. She's like, "Thanks, I really appreciate all your help." Rousey is like, got the mean face on at the pay-per-view, destroying Alexa Bliss, almost breaking her arm, doing the same thing a week later to Stephanie McMahon. And now, she comes out, she's all smiling again. Smiling Ronda Rousey was in full effect. And then, Ronda Rousey is not supposed to be a girly girl. The Bellas are the girly girls. And she's like, "Hey, thanks." I was just like, holy fucking shit, this is abysmal. This is fucking horrible. Like, they just got on the right foot with Ronda Rousey just about a month ago, and they're already spinning out of control. I don't know if maybe they're gearing up for a really super exciting tag team match with the Bellas versus Rousey and Natalia. Please don't do that. I mean, if Ronda needs to have a singles match at Evolution, I mean, you're going to give us some fucked up tag team match with Ronda Rousey? You really think that that's going to be the best way to get to get Ronda over at the pay-per-view? Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. Please don't tell me that's what they're planning on doing. I'm not as you could clearly tell, I am not a Bellas hater by any stretch of the imagination, but this is not what they should be booking for the pay-per-view. Then you had Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And, Renee Young, Michael Cole, and Corey Graves. All super surprised. "Oh my God, say it isn't so." What? Taker was advertised for Raw, you goofballs. And you're all acting super surprised to see him. Is this what we're going to do next week? Triple H and Mick Foley are advertised, which is great. But, I mean, are we going to act surprised to see Mick Foley after you advertised him? Now, it's one thing to get excited, but, oh my God, it can't be? No, it can be. You promoted this for 2 weeks, so I don't think it's much of a surprise. So, this promo right here, I mean, we've gone through this time and time again. Shawn Michaels is not coming out of retirement. We teased it with Daniel Bryan. It looked like he didn't come out of retirement. Now it's years later. He's still not out of retirement. Shawn Michaels, said that he's staying true to himself. He wants to have a sense of integrity and just stay retired. Taker said, you're doing it out of fear because if you were to come out of retirement, you target me. He said now he's going to put Triple H down. I didn't really get a lot out of this promo. I didn't really feel like this promo was necessary. This is just a match for the sake of having a match. There's nothing on the line here. There's nothing, there's no careers on the line. It's quite obvious that they're saying that this is the last time they're going to wrestle. That may be true, but, it's not the last time that they're going to wrestle. So, it's you think that maybe something could be on the line here, some sense of urgency headed into this match, because it's just basically a special attraction match to put over the Australia pay-per-view that they're gonna have, the Superstar Showdown. So there's no real point in doing any of this. They brought out Shawn Michaels, which is great. I mean, you could see it got number 4 trending here on YouTube, which is, fantastic for them. They got 2 million views on the video, which is, pretty good. I think that's maybe more views than what they got on the fucking show itself. So, that's pretty telling. It's like you see all these guys that everyone says is over: Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor. But, when it's all said and done, it's these guys that pull in the ratings at the end of the day. These are the guys that people want to see. These guys are actually charismatic. They look the part. I'm sorry, and I'll be the first one to say that I love seeing these guys and everything like that, but there's only so many times they could go back to the well with them, and they're just here to just basically do a service. There's not really much else to tell here. They appeared, and if they didn't appear, it wouldn't have really mattered. Nothing really happened in this segment, and I know some people are not gonna like me saying that, but I mean that's the truth. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, how are you gonna knock that? I'll tell you how I can knock it. When it's uneventful and nothing's really happening here, nothing transpired. I mean, and the ridiculous reaction when Undertaker was already announced that the announcers don't even know that he's gonna be there. I mean, come on, it's a bit ridiculous. Sasha Banks and Bayley defeated Dana Brooke and Ember Moon. Random tag team much. Didn't Dana Brooke wrestle Ember Moon a few weeks ago or something? I don't know. So now they're tag teaming together. Whatever the case may be. Dana gets frustrated. She says, "I'm done with Titus Worldwide," and she walks off. Dana is hot, but I don't fucking care about this, to say the least. I mean, Sasha and Bayley, they did the whole storyline, and this is where they are again. And am I going to really repeat myself? I guess so. We went through this whole storyline. We even arrived at a point where they were going to do some type of lesbian thing, and then they bailed out, as I predicted, the following week. So here we go again. It's just going to be random tag matches. And so we got a little story here with Dana Brooke, but whenever they attempt to do a story, it's half-assed, and plus nobody really cares because they haven't done anything with Dana. They haven't done anything with Titus Worldwide. Everybody in this ring, they haven't done anything with worth a damn. Yes, Sasha and Bayley had a storyline last month, but look where that led them. They're back to tag team. They're back to square one. Bobby Lashley is instructed by Baron Corbin to do a relaxation session with Jinder Mahal, the former WWE champion. So, Bobby Lashley came off as fucking annoying during this segment. They do some childish shit. They do this little thing where Jinder Mahal says, "Repeat after me." Jinder says, "Repeat after." Bobby Lashley says, "Repeat after me." Copying it like the oldest joke in the book. And it's funny, when Pee Wee Herman does that, but in wrestling, oh my God, this was brutal here. And then as Lashley is sitting down and he's cross-legged and everything, and the segment is dying right before our eyes. Kevin Owens comes and attacks him from behind. The announcer's like, "Oh, he quit last week and he's here." And it's like, exactly. He just quit last week. Are you that not committed to a storyline where you're just going to bail out of it? And you're already going to have this segment here where he's just kicking, he's kicking Bobby Lashley's ass. He's kicking this mammoth of a man's ass. And he just quit last week. And there's no commitment to any type of storyline. Here he is. He just quit, and he's already back. He's already back, and he just quit last week. What? What the fuck? I mean, you're not even telling a story here. You just flew right away into bringing him back, and why is he attacking Bobby Lashley? Wouldn't it be Braun Strowman? Wouldn't it be Seth Rollins, who he got frustrated with for losing to him? No. random target Bobby Lashley, because I guess Bobby Lashley needs a feud with somebody. When he's already in the ring with Jinder Mahal, but like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, can this company tell a story for shit? I mean, he just quit last week, and without any heat or anything like that, they already brought him back. If you could explain this to me, I mean, I implore you, please tell me in the comments why this makes sense. So they promoted Foley and Triple H. I already mentioned that. Then it was Braun Strowman defeating Finn Balor. Corbin said he was going to have a match with Balor, but instead, he says he's too busy, so he has a match. Braun Strowman is the new opponent. This is your main event. Braun Strowman beats Balor. He loses again. And, like, if you don't like Balor, and if you're going to keep crushing him every week, why is he even on the roster? What the fuck is the point of even giving him the main event slot if he's going to keep losing every week? The only time he wins is when he's the Demon. And they don't want to do that. I'm watching on SmackDown. They showed online of Jeff Hardy painting his face. Isn't that face paint maybe a little bit more intricate even than Finn Balor? But somehow Jeff Hardy could do it every week and do different designs. But Balor can't be bothered to do it one week. And maybe if they call in a makeup artist to do it, whatever the case may be, just fucking do it already. Seeing this guy coming out, smiling, hey, every week is getting tiresome. Seeing him lose every week is tiresome. It's enough already with Balor. They've got nothing for him. It's quite obvious that McMahon doesn't like him. He doesn't give a fuck. It's a difference of opinion between him and Triple H. Triple H likes him for whatever reason, and Vince McMahon doesn't. So if that's the case, why is he even there? It's not even like he's over with the crowd or anything. Even the smarks don't even care about him anymore. So after the match, the Shield comes out. For a minute there, I thought Scott Steiner was returning to remind Samoa Joe that he's fat, and I guess that wasn't the case. But the siren on the ambulance sounded, or on the cop car or whatever it was, it sounded exactly like the beginning of Scott Steiner's music. And anyway, we can't be that lucky. So it's Roman Reigns, and the Shield is in the back of it. They come out, all the heels pour out of the locker room again. Seth Rollins takes a nasty-ass bump. He gets tossed off the stage into the car. That looked super fucking dangerous. And then the whole locker room and Braun Strowman, Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre all beat up on the Shield. And the whole locker room beats them up for some reason. So, they just brought the Shield back, and they all get their asses kicked in, like... and this went on way too fucking long. I mean, and they killed all the heat. They come back in the cop car, and it's supposed to be this cool moment, and then they just all get their asses kicked. And I'm just sitting here like, is this going to end anytime soon? They're like kicking the shit out of them, and it's going on and on and on, and it's just, there's no end in sight to this segment. It's fucking ridiculous. It just keeps going on, and it's like there's no end in sight. I'm like, end the segment already. End it. And it's not ending. I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't know, guys. I take a look at this show, and I'm just like, what the fuck is even going on? I mean, like, I don't get the direction of the show. It's one thing to another, to this, to that. The ideas are all over the place. They have no consistency on the show whatsoever. You watch from one show, and then the next week, I say it's the same show, but like the wrestlers act differently. They have a different goal one week to the next week. Like I gave the example with Ziggler and McIntyre. They start off when they take over the WWE. They sound like main eventers. Then they say they're going to take over the tag division. Then they go back to singles. Then they're back to the tag teams. They want to stay committed to the B team, and they're going on a winning streak. Then they can't even keep that winning streak going. Then they want to build up the revival. Then the Revival gets their ass kicked, and then it goes back to Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. I mean, who the fuck could keep up with this shit? And okay, somebody out there is going to say, oh, it's unpredictable, Brad. Yeah, unpredictable in the bad way. It doesn't even make sense. You build up one wrestler just to knock another one out of the way, and then at the end of the day, no one's even over to begin with. Did anyone really even give a shit that Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler won the tag titles? Does anybody even really care that the Shield returned? And you're emptying out the whole locker room to beat up the Shield, and why? You have Braun Strowman out there, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Isn't that enough to get the job done? You have to have the whole fucking locker room as well? And I remember back in the day, the smarks like Wade Keller and Dave Meltzer attacked, when they had everybody pour out of the locker room at the Royal Rumble. I think it was during Undertaker and the Yokozuna casket match. Everybody said, oh, so far-fetched and unbelievable. I don't believe it. Why does the whole locker room have to empty out? And everybody bashed that. Remember that? Or maybe that was like 1994. I don't fucking remember. Whenever it was. So everyone knocked that shit. But now it's okay? Now I see, everyone's just fine with it on the internet. Oh, that from decades ago, that, from 25 years ago or whatever, that was all fine and well. Give it a pass. Give this a pass. But don't give that from 25 years ago a pass. Fucking, never let anybody forget it. Keep putting it in like worst moments or something. And here you're fine with the locker room emptying out in 2018. When if anything, the wrestling should be even more realistic, should be even more true to life, especially with all the social media garbage going on. But, apparently, like that stuff in the past, that was fucking horrible. Even though it was 10 times more over, this is just fine what they're doing. Give me a fucking break. I sat there thinking about that right away. I started thinking of the Undertaker Yokozuna casket match and how all the smarks hated it because the locker room emptied out. And I'm not saying that it wasn't far-fetched or ridiculous or anything like that, but like, why are you saying that this is okay and that's not when it's the same fucking thing? I don't know, guys. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. The show is fucking horrible. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so you get notifications when I release all my new videos. Watch my other videos. And this has been your YWC champ, guys. And I'm signing out.